Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday. I hope you all are doing well and that you are having a good morning and that your week, as long as it may have been, is going to end out on some high notes. It has been a long week. It has been a long month. Um, but I hope y'all are doing well. But want to be respectful of your time, my time, everybody's time. So we're going to jump right into newsy things and get right on that. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. This January 31st, the last day of a near endless month. Um, but yeah, glad we're all here. Glad we all made it. And yeah. All right. So first up, it appears that Disney has made an announcement of, hey, Lynn, good morning. It appears Disney has made an announcement of when they're officially closing the Muppet section of Disney. They'll be closing. It appears to be on June 9th is when it will shut down. So if you are a fan of the Muppet section of Disney, you've got a few months to get in there and actually get to see it before it's all gone. And to be able to do that. Uh I've been there before and a handful of times, but I don't think I've actually ever done the ride or experience. I've just kind of like saw that it was there. Um, but I know that I've got some friends that are very Muppet passionate, so that will be shutting down. Tristan, good morning, man. Um, and I need to check with you sometime on book logistics on getting you books and stuff for your Patreon. But yeah, Disney will be shutting down the Muppet 3D Vision on June 9th, and it's said to be that that is going to make room for a Monsters Incorporated world that will be going there. Um, yeah, that's going on. The rapper popular in the early 2000s ish, DJ Unk or DJ UNK, um, passed away at the age of 43 this week. The rapper best known for the song Walk It Out, um, especially the version that has Andre 3000 in it was fire. But he passed away this week. And I'm 43, and that's moderately scary. Yeah. This past week, the WWE was in Texas, and uh, The Undertaker gifted Matthew McConaughey a custom Texas belt, um, as one should, because if you're going to if you're going to Texas, you have to bring gifts for Matthew McConaughey, or either don't show up. Um, yeah. Um, Image Comics, I believe it's Image. Yeah. Oh, Image or Dark Horse. I forget which one. Um, Either way, the comic book company that was publishing Neil Gaiman's Anansi Boys has officially canceled the rest of the line. Um, uh, it dropped an issue earlier this month, and it was supposed to release an eighth issue in March, but they're going to go ahead and just stop amidst his allegations and issues. Um, and listen, anytime there are allegations against people, um, you you want to be cautious of, you want to be aware and there for people that may have been abused. Um, and it's also good to not demonize the people that are accused But either way, people are hurting, and it's a sucky situation. And Neil Gaiman means a lot to a lot of people, but obviously, if he's done horrible things, that's going to change people's perspectives. But he does still stand by that he didn't do any of the things he's accused of. But I know that doesn't mean guilty people don't plead innocence. It's just it's a sad thing when it's like a literary or social hero or things like that. The show Lanterns, the DC Universe TV show on Green Lantern, that will be playing on Max in the future, um, has cast its Sinestro, in the form of the actor Ulrich Thompson. Um, I don't know that I know him from anything personally, but Ulrich Thompson is officially our Sinestro, moving forward. Um, there is a new Star Wars movie, uh, reportedly. Um, they've been announcing for a while now that there was going to be a Rey-centric movie. And uh, the movie is looking like it's going to be called The New Jedi Order, and that it will be one that focuses on Rey and the establishment of a new Jedi Order. I don't know that that's going to be like crazy popular with people because people be peopling, but I am moderately excited at the idea of some more Star Wars just because I like Star Wars. Um, but yeah, New Jedi Order is reportedly the title of the Rey film that will move forward. But there's also like 40 Star Wars movies just kind of in limbo. Um, there was a horror comedy movie when I was like a young adult called Idle Hands, um, that uh, featured a dude's hand that got possessed or something like that, and then you know evil things happened. That movie is now being remade and rebooted, starring Finn Wolfhard, the young man who plays Mike on Stranger Things. So that's coming and is going to happen. So if you're remotely a fan of Stranger Things or of Idle Hands, then you've got something to look forward to, maybe. I don't know if it's really something worth looking forward to, but that's coming. They're also reportedly remaking the horror movie The Faculty of nearly about the same time frame. So lots of stuff uh coming up in that world. The Latino rapper Bad Bunny um bailed out uh halfway through filming an episode of Hot Ones this week, um stating that he was concerned about his colon and stopped halfway through. Now, I don't blame him because those sauces I think are moderately scary, but I feel like that might be a tarnish on the name Bad Bunny, because where he couldn't make it through, people like Rachel Ray and lots of other people that are less gangster in their presentation have like smoked that challenge. So he might be referred to as Mild Bunny in my heart from here on out. But either way, he's cool, dude. The comedian Gabriel Iglesias, who has been featured in several WWE events lately, got into the ring on Monday night to yeet with Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, which is funny. Also, this week in wrestling news, Dragon Lee, his wife gave birth to a daughter, so he had the birth of his daughter was this week. Let's see. There was a back and forth situation with um, our government in Colombia this week as two planefuls of people were deported to Colombia, and Colombia said no, take them back, we'll come get them. but then we're threatened with tariffs and then eventually let them land. And it's a whole ugly situation in terms of what we're doing and like how we're dealing with other countries and stuff. It's like a it's like everybody's woke up grumpy as a country and politically, and this is happening. Um, but yeah, they did eventually land on it. Um, just the world's evil, bro. A Florida principal of an elementary school was arrested after over 100 underage kids were found drinking at her home. Elizabeth Hill Brodigan, 47 years old, faces charges of child neglect and contributing to the delinquency of minor. The the gathering was called an open house party, um, and had kids with matching shirts drinking from alcoholic coolers. One child was hospitalized for alcohol-related medical emergency. What principal of an elementary school invites their kids over for a kegger? Like, what parents dropped them off for this? How do 100 kids get to a principal's house? How does that happen? I never knew where my principal lived. How, how does 100 kids get to a principal's house and some of them have matching t-shirts for the party? What's happening? Cheese and crackers, y'all. Um, yeah, I've never had a principal be like, "Yo, y'all come over to my house." I had a principal that loved me. I had a principal that supported me as a missionary. I had a principal that, um, like, is one of my heroes. But like, I never went to her house. And who's inviting kids? I'm just like, how do the kids get there? That's my concern. Did they bus them there? How did these kids get over for an alcoholic party? It's ridiculous. Google Maps is reportedly, and I haven't looked this up on my phone yet, like to see if it's functional, but Google Maps is reportedly going to concede to the request of the U.S. government and name the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, if you are in America and looking at it. But if you are in Mexico, it's going to say the Gulf of Mexico. And then the Mexican president is also like, don't do this. Don't take this from us. And there's disputes going on, but it's wild that this is a thing. Um, a German teenager has recreated MySpace and created a social network to recreate the vibe of early 2000s MySpace. The It's called Space Hey, like Space Heay, and it's a MySpace replica where you can go and have your MySpace vibe complete with your top eight and things like that. It says Space Hey, a place for friends, but this kid recreated the entire MySpace experience, uh, just because the world missed it. Um, about a month from now, the a new original series on the life of David is coming to Amazon. Also, the first trailer for this series is out if you want to check it out. But it premieres on Amazon Prime on February 27th. But the trailer features already the battle with David and Goliath. Um, it was Dark Horse that canceled Neil Gaiman's comic book. Sorry, I had that in my notes a little further. The first few episodes of Disney's Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man are up on Disney Plus if you want to check those out. Um, WW2K25 or WWE I don't know, whatever. The wrestling video game has announced their cover artists for 2025. Last year it was Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. This year it is The Undertaker or Roman Reigns. And then there's also a special uh, Bloodline cover. The regular Roman Reigns cover is like $69. The Undertaker cover is $100, and the Bloodline cover is like $120 or something like that. Um, so that's a thing. Apparently, we're getting a Logan Paul versus Jake Paul match on Max on March 27th. So if you just don't like the Paul brothers and you want to see them pummel each other, you have an opportunity. March 27th, Max. Um, former wrestler slash WWE employee Big E was holding back the announcement that he is in the new Spider-Man series. So if you're listening for a familiar voice, you should be able to find one there. Um, the White House press secretary and in general has invited podcasters and influencers to apply for media seats. So they have issued a statement that if you're a podcaster or you're an influencer and you want a media seat at the White House to be able to cover White House news, you have the opportunity to apply for that now. I don't know that I'm doing that. Um, but yeah, there is a thing called the Doomsday Clock. If you've ever read or watched the story of Watchmen, it's a it's a whole part of the storyline, the Doomsday Clock, that basically says how close to time running out mankind is before we destroy ourselves. Like, and I want to say it was, and it's whatever you're counting down to midnight. And I feel like, um, in Watchmen in like 1989, we were at 5 minutes to midnight, something like that. I need to go back and watch or read it. I've got it literally sitting right there, but I don't want to reach over and knock stuff off my desk to do it. Um, this week, scientists set the doomsday clock to 89 seconds to midnight, meaning they feel like in an analogous form, we're 89 seconds from destroying ourselves. Um, and they cited and credited AI and nuclear war and things of that nature, political changes with fast forwarding that. So we are currently closer to doomsday than I believe we've ever been in my lifetime, according to the doomsday clock. Yay! I just need Gurr from Invader Zim going, doom. Yeah, fun times. There's a back and forth this week between the White House and the federal government over a spending freeze on government funds that sent people into a panic. It was rescinded, then blocked, and all the things that happened. It was just a mess. Um, and things that did not ever need to happen, and I may have already reported this, but I'm going to just say it again. The movie The Lost Boys, the vampire movie from the 80s, is getting a Broadway musical. I don't know. Tristan says, should we trust AI? Um, I don't know if that's the conversation for me to have on a laptop. Wink, wink. Uh, ah, mm, well, Tristan, I've got some more AI slash robotic news that might have an influence on that answer as we'll get to the little bit further in the notes. Um, this week was the victory of that sent the Eagles and the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. Will be the Super Bowl matchup. And a sad note, um, there was an 18-year-old at the Eagles celebration in Philadelphia that died because he climbed on a light pole to celebrate with the crowd. You know, the big crowd scenes you always see when people celebrate. He climbed on a light pole and fell off and died. And that is tragic. Um, Dolly Parton is opening a 12-story Songteller Hotel in Nashville that will be a museum, an entertainment venue, and on-site dining. And Dolly will have her new hotel in Nashville, and that's pretty cool. And she's eyeballing a 2026 grand opening for that. This week leading up to the Royal Rumble, um, a street in Indianapolis has officially been renamed Yeet Street. Um, and it may just be for the week, but yeah, Yeet Street is where I want to be. Uh, there's a change.org petition, which if you're familiar, change.org is a place where people can go to sign petitions when they want things to be brought attention to. A change.org petition has been filed to have the officials investigated in the NFL for rigging things for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it has a large number of petitioners. Um, Maybe they're just that good, but yeah, I get it. I get people being frustrated. I mean, the same thing was going on with the Patriots, so it's nothing new, just different faces. Um, Netflix has announced the third and final season of Squid Games will be dropping this summer, starting on June 27th. So if you're a fan of the Squid Game, season three will be dropping on June 27th. There is a Frankenstein movie coming, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, who's great for spooky things. And it will star Oscar Isaac as Dr. Frankenstein, Mia Goth, who is famous for the trilogy of X, Pearl, and Maxine, will also star in it. And Christopher Waltz. That'll be coming this November to Netflix, and I'm pretty excited about that, honestly. I think it'll be pretty cool. Um, Netflix dropped a missing teen poster for Jane Hopper as promo for Stranger Things, and it listed the phone number that you can call if you have information on Jane Hopper, and the phone number will take you to the Hawkins Police Department. So if you want to call the Hawkins Police Department, you can reach out to them at 765 303 2020. 765 303 2020. And yeah, last seen on June 13th, 1986. So that's where we're at with all the things. Um, Musically this week, the band Bring Me the Horizon released a cover of the song Wonderwall, furthering the so anyway, here's Wonderwall meme. But it's definitely worth a listen if you like Wonderwall or music or Bring Me the Horizon. There's a third movie in the Knives Out trilogy coming, uh, starring Daniel Craig, and it's called Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. And that will be coming a little bit later. There was a tragic plane crash this week that took place between a helicopter and a jet that had 60 plus passengers on it. Um, People of varying backgrounds and stories, but it's sad regardless that took place. Also in plane news, there was furious passengers in India um, after a Boeing plane had a technical issue and remained on the tarmac with all the doors locked for 5 hours. The people were complaining of the smell and that the air was stale and that people were suffocating, and they literally were trying to break the doors down because they locked them in the plane and left them, which this week in medical and wrestling news. On last week, JD McDonough on Monday took a really bad hit. He got flipped onto the newly designed announcer tables for the WWE, and it looked like he banged his head and neck on a metal bar. But eventually on Thursday, he released a statement saying, "First off, thanks to everyone for the message of concern. I'm good. I've got a couple of broken ribs and a punctured lung." So I'm going to be out for a couple months. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse. So I'm grateful for that. See you in a bit. Now, if you watch this match, which is available on Netflix, it was Monday Night Raw, a tag team match versus the War Raiders. Um, uh, Dude takes the hit really, really early in the match, and you can tell he's wounded, and he still finishes it. But then the minute he gets behind the curtain, you can literally see him like fall down. So freaking trooper, but don't die. Um, and sad news and just of times passing, the Star Wars Galactic Cruise Star Cruiser, which was the hotel immersive Star Wars experience that was at Disney, which is very important to some friends of mine and some of our Patreon supporters. Gear Saber Cosplay, Outer Rim, Praxium, uh, which are folks that teach a Jedi school in West Virginia. They actually, have part of their relationship story is built in this place. But the Galactic Star Cruiser was shut down last year or 2023, and it is being turned into the Walt Disney Imagineering offices. So they're taking a magical space place of intergalactic uh, amenities and turning it into offices, and that's real sad. Real sad. Um, So, and Tristan, this is what I was referencing with the AI thing earlier. Kai Cenat, or Cenat, I don't know how to properly say his name, but he's a streamer, podcaster, YouTuber, TikToker, influencer person. Um, they got a robot, um, and four Kai and three other dudes got in a circle and bullied it, like talking trash about its mom, pushing it down, sweeping its legs, and just trying to abuse this robot. The robot tried to run away. The robot literally got up and tried to run past them and leave the building. Y'all, my friend Tristan asked, should we trust the AI? Y'all, if we abuse AI like we abuse people, what do we think's going to happen? We've seen the movies. Come on, y'all. Don't do that. Um, Jordan Grace, who is a bodybuilder slash wrestler, has officially signed with the WWE, leaving TNA, and will most likely be appearing in the Royal Rumble. She did appear in the Women's Royal Rumble last year. Now, why this is just a special side note for me, I met Jordan and knew Jordan like 7 years ago, before she was like famous or anything. When she was doing like independent wrestling and stuff like that, I met her at Fanboy Expo Knoxville. And she came by my booth, and she actually has some of my candles. So a newly signed WWE wrestler has some of my Death Star candles, and I find that hilarious. But she is a monster in terms of like strength and everything, and she'll provide an interesting addition. Uh, Crunchyroll, the streaming service for anime, which I just got a couple weeks ago. Tristan says this is how we get a Terminator a PTSD. Yes. Yes, this is how we get a PTSD Terminator. Y'all, I mean, real talk. We've had in the last 6 months, we've had an AI chat service suggest that a kid murder their parents for taking their phone away. We've had a chat AI service bully a kid to suicide. We've had an online girlfriend break up, an online AI girlfriend cause a kid to commit suicide after breaking up with him. That's just the beginning. And if we're abusing this stuff, I don't like it. I'm not mad at people who use AI for things. I don't believe AI should be used to create art. Um, I get using it because it's handy, but I don't love it, and I feel like it kind of robs some of the things. It's my personal take on it. I'm not condemning you if you use that, but it's just I'm not a fan of it. Uh, I I apparently had a bad attitude when we had a new pastor join our staff, and he was pitching uh design ideas by using AI, and I just like looked him square in the eye across the table. I was like, "We don't do that here." And I get that graphic design is my job at with the church, but just as a general principle, I was like, "Nah, fam, no." We've not had that conversation since. But I don't know, man. It's dangerous. It's rough to. I don't love it. I feel like it's icky and I mean it's literally I grew up on the Terminator. This is how this happens. We have activated Skynet. Um, and in fact, the new Terminator anime that was on Netflix literally was dealing with AI and its role with it. So I don't know, man. Crunchyroll has announced that they are about to start moving episodes of One Piece from its free ad-supported tier to its paid platinum tier. Um, but it won't happen all at once, and it won't be every episode. But they're going to put that certain episodes you can only get with their paid tier. Now, I finished all of the One Piece that was on Netflix and Hulu, and so I got a Crunchyroll subscription just so I could finish One Piece because on Netflix, One Piece went from like episode 540 to 1040, like with nothing in between, and I needed to be able to fill the gaps. And I think Hulu covered up to about 750. But beyond that, like you're gonna need Crunchyroll until you get to the 1000s again. Um Chris Evans has come out this week to say officially that he is not returning in Avengers Doomsday, even though it was previously reported. He says, yeah, no, happily retired. Also, I don't believe it, but whatever. Yeah. There is talks from the White House that Microsoft is in talks to buy TikTok. Mr. Beast also previously last week said that he wanted it, but Microsoft is apparently swinging for it. But yes, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has made a case to please not rename the Gulf of Mexico. This week, also in tech and social news, Meta lost a lawsuit and has agreed to pay President Trump $25 million in a lawsuit about for the fact that Meta shut down Donald Trump's social accounts after the January 6th insurrection and riot. That they preemptively took away his Facebook and Twitter um, as a precautious measure from what was happening, and that went against things and banned him. And so, yeah, they had to pay $25 million for that. Yep. Subway and other unhealthy news. Subway debuted a new foot-long Oreo cookie, which looks to be a loaf of brownie, hollowed out, filled with cream, and topped with broken Oreos. So you can get a new foot-long Oreo cookie sub at Subway, which is probably still just as healthy as eating anything else at Subway. Um, yeah. Ringo Starr, drummer for the Beatles, just wanted to let everybody know that he's never had pizza. He said he's allergic to several items in it. Never had it. That's some weird stuff. Um, Sadly, at least 30 people died and 60 people were injured this week. At what is called is the world's largest religious gathering in India as people began stampeding. The tragedy took place on January 29th as thousands of Hindu pilgrims rushed to bathe in holy water while at the Maha Kumbh Mela which is a festival in the Indian city of Prayagaram. I'm sorry for that mispronunciation. But yes, thousands of people were at this religious festival in India and trampled each other, um, which is sad. This week, Harvey Weinstein, former bigwig in the movie studio who is imprisoned on allegations and such, uh, is begging to have his retrial and everything moved up because he doesn't think he's going to live long enough for his April court date based on the conditions he's currently living in confinement. So he's begging for it to be brought up earlier. And one of the things I've been tagged in most this week, um, a priest uh, who's in Costa Rica, who's also a DJ, held a rave at the Christ the Redeemer statue. You know, the big statue that's got Jesus with his arms out like this over top the big hill. Um, Held a rave at the base of that statue. And I appreciate all the people tagging me in it and sending it to me because, yes, that is a baller move. And I would love to do that. But I mean, you can see this dude up there full frock, with the neck piece and everything, having the time of his life and watching all the people just get down to some trance music. But yeah, I appreciate the love. And a sad note, Smallville star Tom Welling was arrested for suspected DUI this week. Um, I don't say that in any defaming way. It's just the news. And that's sad, and I hope things work out for him, uh, for where his life is. I see him at cons all the time, so I'm hoping this will be something that'll get resolved. Um, a woman at the Chicago O'Hare Airport this week was arrested after she was caught with $238,000 worth of cocaine in the cushions of her mobile scooter. So a little old lady at the Chicago airport had $250,000 of cocaine in her scooter seat. Like they took the scooter seat out, emptied out the cushions, and stuffed it with cocaine and sent grandma on a plane. And it didn't work out. Genius plan, terrible execution. As I mentioned on the podcast last week, um, Howie Mandel ambushed Bill Burr with his uh, estranged brother Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. And this week, just wanted to let everybody know that Bill Burr's real mad about it. And he's not mad at Billy Corgan, but he is mad at Howie Mandel. And he put out some statements on that. Uh, and I don't know to really, really believe this. But there's been a lot of news about Scream 7 in the past week or two with the fact that Joe McHale is now cast as Sidney Prescott's husband and things like that. And one of the people that were considered dead in Scream 3 is returning. But as of like 10 p.m. last night, there was a statement that is apparently blue checked and verified that Matthew Lillard is returning as Stu Macher in Scream 7. The other dude is Scott Foley from Scream 3, but apparently Matthew Lillard is back in Scream 7. Now, there could be like a whole ghost of the past type situation, but apparently Matthew Lillard is back. Um, the movie Flight Risk, which dropped last week or this week, somewhere in there, has officially pushed Denzel Washington down on the list of highest grossing actors. And now Mark Wahlberg has risen up above Denzel Washington as bringing in more box office money total. And I get Mark Wahlberg's done some big stuff. But the idea that Mark Wahlberg has brought more into the box office than Denzel Washington is kind of baffling, honestly. Um, but yeah, good for him. He's wicked smart. Um, Quentin Tarantino says that his next project will not be a movie, but instead will be a play. But if the play goes well, it will be his final movie. Like if this play turns out as good as he's hoping, then he'll turn it into a movie, and then it'll be his final movie. Because he said literally for almost my whole lifetime he's only making 10 movies, and he's at 9. So, yeah. Doodaloo. Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty is in the hospital this week. After he tried to get out of a boat and fell on his oxygen tank, and he's recovering from that. Jelly Roll this week took the time to go perform for 300 inmates at the Riverbend Maximum Security Institution in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, where he performed for them and encouraged them that they could have life beyond bars, and to encourage them across the board with that. Remember Octomom, the lady that gave birth to 8 kids all at once? Um, well, this week, those 8 kids turned 16, and they're all alive and well, and probably not so traumatized. But yes, all the Octomom babies are now 16 years old. Um, this week, we also got the note that President Trump is going to reinstate military members who are discharged for not getting the COVID vaccine because there were people that um, were like dismissed from the military because they felt ethically like that they didn't want to get the COVID vaccine. When wherever you stand on that, this is still they're getting brought back. And then also this week, Matthew Huddle, who was just pardoned by the president for his role in the January 6th Capitol riot, was killed this week by police officers um, in a traffic stop in Indiana. Um, he was pulled over, it got bad, and he ended up getting shot by the police officers. The Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds drama continued a little bit further this week, as Baldoni released a voicemail that he sent to Blake Lively 2 a.m. after her first time having problems with the script or whatever, where he was apologetic and kind and nurturing and very much uh you can hear that he's trying to actually take care of her in the process, which goes against her claims. And then this week, a federal Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively asked a federal judge to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit. Um, but a new thing was revealed this week by, internet detectives, that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds teamed up to put a Easter egg of embarrassment um for Ryan Reynolds for Justin Baldoni in his own movie. Um which is a special insult to injury and kind of diabolical and very Deadpool level thing to do. It's been recently brought up that Nice Pool in the Deadpool Wolverine movie is a parody slash slam slash satire slash mock of Justin Baldoni. Um, and it got further solidified through the credits on It Ends With Us. Because if you look in the credits for Deadpool and Wolverine, Nice Pool is played, we all know it's Ryan Reynolds, but in Deadpool and Wolverine in the credits, Nice Pool is played by Gordon Reynolds. At the end of the credits of It Ends With Us, is a credit that says special thanks to Gordon Reynolds. So they put a special thanks to the fictional depiction of Ryan Reynolds mocking the director in his own movie in the credits. That is a special level of mean girl and not very cash money of you. Um, if nothing else is going on, that's rude. Uh, and maniacal and premeditated and just kind of evil. Um, an aquarium in Louisiana has been surprised by a virgin birth in their shark exhibit. There's a shark exhibit with two female sharks in Shreveport, um, and a female shark gave birth to a baby shark named Yoko. Um, and it has been more than 3 years since the two female sharks in the tank have ever been near a male shark. Um, their best guess is maybe there's some residual male shark floating around or attached to their skin, but they have no idea how this baby shark was born. Um, One Piece live action looks like it is going to be not releasing in 2025 as originally announced, and that it will now be released in 2026. And also today, or just yesterday, the band Sum 41 uh, retired. They ran from 1996 to 2025, and they bid their farewells officially this past week. Um, a new indictment was brought up against P. Diddy this week that accused him of trafficking at least three different women. Yeah, it's not great news to end on. But that is the news. And that's all the stuff that I saw this week that was pretty out there to make note of. Some things to let y'all know about that's going on. Yeah, there's a whole list of cons and stuff we're doing. A week from now, I should be doing a poetry event in Fayetteville, North Carolina at the Art Meets Life event. It hasn't been officially announced yet. It should be announced today. Um, but I'll be doing a poetry event then. And then heading over to where am I going? Um, I think my first con or the first thing I've got is the Carolina Christian Youth Conference in Greensboro, North Carolina on Valentine's weekend. Then heading over to Capital or Captain's Comics Expo. Now I might just be going to attend um Charlotte MiniCon tomorrow and Pixel Pig. I'm putting a yes and amen sticker from Quiet Mountain Apparel on my Bible. Um, I might be going to the two cons tomorrow because they're like nearish each other and I sort of have a day off. But yeah, lots of events coming up. I'm currently technically working on 4 chapters of the book at the same time. I'm or it's only three. It's three. I'm transcribing two Geek Church services. The one on God is a Fan of You and one on Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm transcribing those and rewriting them into like a, a readable format. Um, and I'm also writing a chapter on the Penguin TV series. And we'll see where things are going from there. Hopefully, if I keep moving at this pace, we should be able to have um, the next Faith and Fandom book by May. Maybe May. We'll see. Um, let's go ahead and jump into our Bible reading for the morning. All right. Oh, the fun sound for all y'all listening at home. Um, all right, we need three D20s and a D10. Yep, and a D10. Cool. All right. So let's see what we got. Go ahead and get notes ready to take. Rolling the D10 first. We got 3, 19, 10, plus 4. Ooh, we are definitely in the Old Testament. Um, so that is for a grand total of 36, and we subtract 4 so that we can hit the first 4 books of the Old Testament if I rolled 4 ones, and that gives us 32. So we're in the 32nd book of the Bible. So start Malachi is 39, so 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. We're in Jonah. How delightful. Jonah. 1182 is that page. Jonah was a prophet. Ooh, ooh. But he really never got it. Sad but true. Doodly doo. He did not get the point. Poor old Jonah. Now he's all alone. Gotta use a megaphone to get it through to his head. Hey, Jonah the prophet. Ooh, ooh. Really never got it. Sad but true. I do. He did not get the point. All right. 4 chapters in the book of Jonah. So that means our Ted Lasso dice has goes up to 4, and it's 4. So we are in Jonah chapter 4. Jonah's anger at the Lord's compassion. Jonah's anger at the Lord's compassion. All right, let's get us a highlighter. And we've got a pen and a pencil. Ruby tissues. There's my pen. Awesome. All right. And if you don't know where this is at in the story, uh, Jonah finally listened to God. Jonah delivered a message of repentance to the nation of um golly, my brain just left me. Where was Jonah? Nineveh. Yeah. Jonah delivered a message of repentance to the nation of Nineveh. Nineveh repented, and God forgave them. That's where the story is. Here we go. But Jonah was not a fan. But to Jonah, this verse 1, Jonah 4, verse 1. But to Jonah this seemed very wrong, and he became angry. He prayed to the Lord, isn't this what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? This is what I tried to foretell by fleeing to Tarshish. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, Lord, take away my life from me. Take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live. And homie straight up was in a place where he said he would rather die than see the bad guys shown grace. Man, keep my commentary to myself on this moment. Verse 3 says, now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live. Verse 4 says, but the Lord replied, is it right for you to be angry? And that right there is probably going to be my takeaway verse. But the Lord replied, is it right for you to be angry? That probably could put all of us in check a million times over. I'm going to put some arrows and some highlighters to remember that. Um, verse 5 said, Jonah had gone out and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter. He sat in the shade. He sat in the shade and waited to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord God provided a leafy plant and made it grow up over Jonah to give shade for his head to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was very happy about the plant. Well, just this story cracks me up. Jonah was had more excitement over this plant than he had over a whole nation of people showing forgiveness and grace. Verse 7, but at dawn, the next day, God provided a worm which chewed the plant so that it withered. When the sun rose, God provided a scorching east wind, and the sun blazed on Jonah's head so that he grew faint and he wanted to die. God said, are you done being a baby? He wanted to die. He said, it would be better for me to die than to live. But God said to Jonah, it is right for you to be angry. Or Jonas, but God said to Jonah, is it right for you to be angry about the plant? It is, he said, and I am so angry, I wish I were dead. But the Lord said, you have been concerned about this plant, though you did not tend it or make it grow. It sprang up overnight and died overnight. Should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and also many animals? And that's where the book stops. God said, if you can be concerned about this plant, should I not be concerned about these people? And that's where the book stops. We never know that Jonah gets the point. But I just like my first thought reading this is like, God, surely there had to be some more suitable candidates for delivering your message than this douche waffle. Oh, but I know that's me on some days too. So, yeah. I hope y'all's week is good. I hope you have good opportunities and encouragements. Woo, good save. Um, and that you have the chance to find some refreshing and spend some time with God. Um, find something that's entertaining, hug some people, love some people. Um, you made it. There's only like, you know, 16 hours of January left, and you're almost there. Push on through. Um, By the way, just on a suggestive note, if you've not heard it yet, Ren Collective dropped a song last week or the week before called Fight of My Life, which they describe as the most joyful sounding song about depression ever. And so that might be up somebody's alley. It's quite the banger. And I've actually we do like a countdown video before our services start at our church. And usually to like a photos of what's gone on in the church the previous month, and that's one of the songs in the countdown. So I'm going to hear it for the next probably 8 weeks, as we're on a 8 week series on Ecclesiastes, which will be delightful. More depression. Um, but I hope y'all are doing good. Thank you for being supportive. February is going to be an absolutely chunky month for Faith and Fandom. Start off with the poetry events, but I'll have other books and stuff there, and they'll ask me Faith and Fandom questions, which will be cool. Um, then we've got the Youth Ministry Conference and Captain's Comics Expo, and then March has two cons. Just a lot of stuff coming up. Before I go, I want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters and make sure to give y'all some love because I appreciate y'all greatly. Um, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dorothy Martin, Michelle Stewart, Lynn Turner, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Colin Sproles, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Gear Saber Cosplay, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, Jay Sheed, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Todd Turner, John Jacobs, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for your encouragement, your support, and being the fantastic folks that you are. And I genuinely appreciate all of you. This has been like the beginning of the year is the time when we have to reorder books and we have to reorder all the stuff to have. And so my living room is filled with books. Um, there's the area where my daughter's desks are has like new shelving taking up space in there. And I've got to contact the t-shirt dude to print me a few more shirts to get ready for the rest of the con season because I have no idea how this youth ministry conference is going to go. And if the youth ministry conference goes well, I'm in trouble for the con that happens the next week. So we'll see how it goes. Um, yeah. But I hope y'all have a great day, and that February turns out to be a fantastic month for you. God bless y'all. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.